What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Painkiller Hell Wars. So I've been messing around with my new recording setup lately, and I realized that I had 3 Painkiller videos that were still unuploaded from my previous recording setup. So this is actually not new footage at all. But this is still one of my more favorite parts of the game as we progress on here. One thing I will say I still really appreciate about this game and the old capture device is steady frame rate. I'm loving it. And Hell and Damnation on the PS3 is playing has pretty solid frame rate too, but not this good. Like, this is really top notch for its time. I still have Hell and Damnation on Steam, but trying to get it to work on my Mac is still proven to be difficult. I don't know why it's giving me such a hard time. I got it to run like once, and it was really laggy, and I couldn't figure out why. And now all of a sudden it just doesn't work anymore. But I'll figure it out. I actually got some other games for it as well. This winter when they had the Christmas Steam sale, and I got Duke Nukem 3D, which is a classic FPS that I've actually never really finished before, so that'll be an interesting experiment. Never been much of a Duke Nukem fan. I'm always more of a Doom and Quake fan, even more of a Marathon fan actually than a Duke fan. And that would actually be a good game to LP one day as Marathon Durandal, if I could ever finish it enough times to know what I'm doing. But one day, we'll get to that. So I got Duke 3D, and I got Serious Sam 3, which is another game I've been meaning to finish on consoles, but I figured it would control a lot better on the PC, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to play it on Steam with a friend of mine, because for some reason his internet connection does not allow him to play on 360, so we can't play co-op unless we're playing split screen at my house. So I figured we'll play co-op on Steam and do it that way. The Serious Sam game is another classic FPS trilogy, but I would like to record them, but they play so strangely and unique compared to most other classic FPS games, and I honestly found the first one to be quite difficult, so I'm not really at a point where I could consider doing that yet. But I just wanted to give my acknowledgments to them, and then they finally made, it took them long enough for Steam to make Half-Life available for the Mac, and then they finally made the 2 expansion packs, Blue Shift and Opposing Force, available for the Mac this year apparently. So I have those that I can play now. I played Opposing Force way back in the day, but now I can finally get around to playing both of them on the Mac and finishing them. Push this crate over here. I think it's possible to make that jump without doing it, but it's very tricky. One of my most profound memories of this game, or at least of doing the test runs for this Let's Play, is going through this level several times over and reaching the certain checkpoint. Every time I tried to load the next level, it would like not save my progress and it would set me back at this level. Come on now, jump on the crate! Jump on the crate! And listening to a podcast that no longer really airs anymore, so it's kind of a shame that it went downhill and doesn't exist anymore, but oh well, it'll always be a fond memory. Man, the physics in this game are really crazy. I love the physics in this game, don't get me wrong, but it's not lending itself to very precise platforming yet, that's for sure. Alright, this is the checkpoint I was referring to. I'll always remember it. I always remember coming into this area with a ton of ammo for the rocket launcher chain gun thingy, which I conveniently have a lot now. I have 100 rockets. 100 rockets for the rocket launcher chain gun, which I will gladly use against these zombie militia guys to gruesome effect. And inside this area is an untextured wall there that looks really bad, but we're going to ignore that, aside from the fact that I just called attention to it, so now you guys have no choice but to look at it. I also have a decent amount of shotgun shells, and a decent amount of freeze rounds as well. I'm going to keep using the freeze rounds on these heavy guys because, as we've shown in the previous video, they are very tough to take down otherwise. Yeah, I really just love this whole level. It's such a shame that I had to play it so many times to get the game to progress. I don't know what that problem was it was having. Like, if you complete a level and you go back and play a previous level, which you can do, it for some reason decides it wants to keep your newly acquired weapons, and it wants to default back to the next level that you haven't completed yet. So I can't really test run a couple levels ahead and then go back and continue from there. Continue where I left off in the Let's Play on the same save file. It doesn't really work that way. God, so much blood. All these things are not even really alive. I don't really know what you would call them. I'm going to be wasting a lot of ammo not hitting a lot of things with the chain gun because there's no aim assist. I haven't seen these guys for a little while. We're mainly fighting the militia guys and the guys with the flamethrowers, but these guys with their little SMGs are back to give us one more middle finger before we move on to the next level. And not soon enough, because, jeez. Look at how many souls I got in this level. Good lord. Or how many kills, rather. God, 25-minute long level. Really starting to hate the fact that our ammo doesn't carry over from one level to the next. Well, only one thing to do now. Let's swap out our setup again. This time we're going old school and we're swapping back over to the stake gun. Strangely enough though, the ammo that this level gives right at the beginning is more shotgun shells. So we have almost 100. We're going to go ahead and use that because that's really what they intend for us to use if that's the ammo they're going to give us. That's why I blew through all those rockets in that last level, because I had to use them while I had them. Come on, I know we can hit this guy. There we go. Blow up the barrel. It's funny, while the explosions are visually unremarkable, the actual splash damage that they deal is very substantial. Thought I could blow up that container. I guess I can't. I got some freeze rounds there as well, so we're in good shape already. And just in time to fight these guys at close range nonetheless, which is really going to be inconvenient. I think what I just picked up there was something for the electro driver, but I'm not sure. Also there's M16s in those crates there, but we're obviously not going to be able to use those. Not that I would mind, at least give it a try. But that's just not this game's style. The weapons have to be the least practical and realistic as you can possibly imagine. A lot of guys tend to take cover behind the tables and chairs in this office here. I can't even pick up that health right now. Alright, this area really bothered me the first couple times I played it because I could not, for the life of me, remember, after you defeat this wave of enemies, and this is what I was saying earlier in the game about the really confusing kind of non-linear nature of these encounters, to where you kind of just kill all the enemies and move on to the next room is really all you do. But how you trigger the next area to open up and how the areas don't really have any connection to each other, and it's almost like the environments are just kind of there. They don't really matter. It doesn't really have anything to do with the level design, because you can just teleport to a completely new location and it's just as plausible as if you were trying to find the end of the area that you're in, like find the next doorway or something like that. It's all the same thing really, it doesn't matter. So this area in particular really frustrated me because I couldn't figure out how to trigger the next wave of enemies and how to get that stupid gate open. I think that's almost all done. Then we gotta run around some more and trigger all the other enemies to spawn before we can move on. We can't just, you know, move on. The surreal nature in the game really does allow it to be forgiven most of the time, but other times it just comes across as bad game design to have level design that is just so pointless like this. We're getting remarkably... Oh, never mind, there we go. I was saying we're getting very close to going in full demon form, but I guess we went ahead and did it. I don't know if this is the best time to use it or not, but we'll do the best we can with it. I'm sure there are ways to manipulate when you trigger that to the most effective... get the most effective amount of kills with it, but I just have no idea how to do that. It usually just kind of happens for me. I'm sure you can deliberately avoid getting a certain quantity of souls. Okay, the gate finally freaking opened after wandering around this level for a few minutes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That gate is so frustrating. Then immediately walking up here, guys will start spawning behind you, which was kind of predictable for some reason. Much needed armor in there. Now we're in really good shape. We do have quite a bit of stakes now, which is appreciated. Everyone loves steak. Especially these guys. They love steak so much, they love it to death. And this jerk happens to drop down behind us when the door closes. Really? You close the door for that one enemy, and then you're just going to open it right back up again? I will give some credit, there are some pretty cleverly placed guys in this area. But for the most part, it's like, you can't surprise us in a game like this. You can't catch us off guard when we're this powerful, you know what I mean? The intent is to fight like hordes of weak enemies that are charging at you, and trying to be clever is not really going to get you anywhere, although I do appreciate the effort. But also it leaves me looking for one last guy to open the next door again. So I guess this level is still supposed to be on a military base. But some of these places, I don't know about you guys, but they don't really make much sense to me. And I know that's what I've been saying about the level design this whole time, but I mean, as far as the actual layout of a military base goes, this is like some random like satellite dish radar type of thing that's in here, and something tells me this is not a real thing. Alright, we're gonna swap over to the Electro Driver for a minute. It's got some ammo now, and this is a great place to use it at. Should have killed that guy, but for some reason it got stuck. That's what one of those super awesome, super shuriken things looks like. That was an unfortunate way to die. And the level is loading, and the more guys are spawning in the next room. Yeah, I think you have to have a certain quantity of ammo to trigger the super shuriken thing, but I can never quite do it sometimes. That certainly didn't last very long. Give me souls! And then blow up their corpses for good measure. Again, I wish I had a better way to describe these levels other than confusing, because this is this is the best example of that yet. This is like a missile silo type of place to where you run around in a circle around this, you know, cylindrical room, and you find little ins and outs that allow you to go to the different levels of it. Like, it's not a linear thing at all. It's very strange in its design. Yeah, there I totally waited to kill those guys until I had demon form. I guess I just gotta keep falling down until I get to the next level with an open door. That was actually kind of a waste though. I only killed those couple of guys and that was it. Oh, come on, I didn't kill those guys. Alright, I'm almost out of ammo for the electro driver, so I suppose it served its purpose. I've got a lot of chain gun ammo though, so let's swap back over to the rocket launcher. I managed to use every weapon in this level, what do you know? I feel accomplished, not that we have a whole lot of weapons to begin with. Even when we unlock the full arsenal, it's still not a whole lot of weapons, but all the weapons have alternate fire modes and they're so unique and interesting that it's totally okay. And now I gotta find a ladder or something to get up there and keep going. And this, again, it's so strange and confusing and... Oh, I jumped down here. The ladder goes down. This is actually to an optional secret. Which is at the very bottom of the missile. I actually think there's a way to fall down here naturally and then climb the ladder to get back up. So the ladder might actually be your way out as opposed to your way in. There's the ladder. There we go. So it's like I went through all that trouble to get down here and I have to go up again to fight the next wave of enemies. Then I gotta keep going up here. Another ladder to go up. Okay, so all these places I've already passed by, I just didn't have a way to get in them, so I had to go this roundabout way to find a way in here. Almost done. Exit the silo, and that's the end of the level.